The rise and fall of the Third Reich. But why did the mighty Nazi war machine crumble? Get ready to uncover the shocking truth behind Hitler's downfall. In the early years of World War II, Hitler's Germany seemed unstoppable. From the Blitzkrieg in Poland to the conquest of France, the Nazis swept across Europe with terrifying speed. But beneath the surface of Nazi triumph lay the seeds of their own destruction. Hitler's vision of a thousand-year Reich fueled his aggressive expansionism, leading to overreach and hubris that would ultimately spell doom for the Nazi regime. Hitler's relentless pursuit of Lebensraum and his ill-fated invasion of the Soviet Union stretched German resources to the breaking point. Despite initial successes, the brutal reality of the Eastern Front bogged down Nazi forces in a costly and protracted conflict. The vast expanse of territory, harsh winter conditions, and fierce Soviet resistance exacted a heavy toll on German troops, undermining morale and depleting supplies. Moreover, Hitler's racial ideology and genocidal policies alienated potential allies and stirred up fierce resistance among conquered peoples, further straining the Nazi war effort. From the strategic blunders in North Africa to the disastrous decision to split forces on the Eastern Front, Hitler's military gambles often backfired, weakening the Nazi war effort and squandering valuable resources. The failure to secure vital supply lines and the inability to adapt to changing battlefield conditions further compounded their problems. Additionally, Hitler's obsession with racial purity and the Holocaust diverted significant manpower and resources away from the war effort, alienating potential allies and deepening international condemnation. The Allied powers, meanwhile, capitalized on Nazi mistakes and vulnerabilities, exploiting weaknesses in German strategy and infrastructure to gain the upper hand. As the war dragged on, resistance movements sprang up across occupied Europe, sapping Nazi morale and diverting resources from the front lines. Partisan warfare behind enemy lines tied down German forces and disrupted supply lines, while Allied bombing raids wreaked havoc on German industry and infrastructure, crippling the Nazi war machine and undermining civilian morale. The heroic efforts of resistance fighters and underground networks played a crucial role in weakening Nazi control and paving the way for liberation. Despite Nazi efforts to crush dissent and maintain control, the spirit of resistance persisted, fueling the Allied advance and hastening the collapse of the Third Reich. By 1944, the tide had turned against Hitler. The D-Day landings in Normandy marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany, as Allied forces launched a massive amphibious assault on the beaches of France. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, the Soviet Union unleashed a series of devastating offensives that pushed German forces back and laid siege to key cities. The combination of Allied pressure from the West and Soviet advances from the East squeezed the Nazis in a vice grip, forcing them into a desperate fight for survival. Despite fanatical resistance and last-ditch efforts to turn the tide, the writing was on the wall for Hitler and his crumbling regime. The fall of Berlin and Hitler's suicide in his bunker marked the end of the Nazi dream of world domination. And there you have it, the story of why the Nazis lost World War II. Don't miss out on more captivating stories from history. Subscribe now.